This was the last question on the last page, part 2. The point value for the question was 8 points. But I think what kind of concerned me the most, not that you had trouble ordering this from greatest to least, but you did not show any work. And if you showed any type of work, I gave you credit for it. I gave you 3 points just for showing anything, so I can kind of get an idea of at least the way that you were thinking. But if you didn't show any work and you had even 3 or 4 numbers out of order, I took off all 8 points because I just don't know what you're trying to do. What do you got to do first? Before you even attempt to rank this, what should you do first? Lily? Let's do that. Negative 4 1/4 becomes what? Negative 4 point what? This is why I want you to know your fraction families. This is the reason why we do it. And so far, so good with that, because you guys, when I've been calling on you and I give you 1/4 or I give you 2/10, you've been good. What else are we going to convert? To what? That takes care of the fractions. We still have one more conversion that we should do before we attempt to rank these. What should you do? Emily? Which is? Okay. Now I'm ready to cook. All my ingredients are ready. I'm ready to cook. What I was hoping that you would do, since I split it down the middle, I gave you a workspace, and I was hoping to see more people start lining this up by place value. And there just wasn't enough of you that did it that way. When I give you a suggestion to do something a certain way, it's not because I'm trying to get you to create more work for you. I want you to get the answer right. So if it means taking a little bit more time to get the 8 points, then take a little bit more time to get the 8 points. Don't try to guess your way out of it. So my hope is that you line it up by place value, which I'm going to do right now. In the order in which they present themselves up top. When you line it up, make sure that you're really careful and that all your digits and decimals line up properly so you can compare and not get confused. Positive. Any place where you don't see a digit, what should I do? Leah. Yeah, they're called NX zeros, and it just helps us to line everything up properly. Okay. Go back and reread the question. Make sure, is it least to greatest or greatest to least? It happened to be, what was it? Greatest to least. So I am looking for my largest number. Did I make one mistake? I think there's 2 positives, right? Oh, see what I did? The absolute value of negative 4 is positive 4. So I had to do that. Now I've got 2 positives. I automatically should know my greatest has to be one of those 2 numbers because positives are always greater than negatives. So what I do is I look at the first digit. And we have a tie. That doesn't tell us anything. Same thing with the second digit. I can't tell yet. Third digit is going to help me. What's greater, 2 or 0? Jay. I now know this is my top dog. This is my king of the hill. This is my greatest number. What I need to do, though, is I know I converted this. So I have to take a look and say, okay, my original value was this on the test sheet. I'm going to put it at the top of my list. as originally written, and I'm going to cross it out, and I'm going to cross it out here too. Automatically, that is going to make what as number 2?
4 as an absolute value.
And that was originally the absolute value of -4. I was hoping that you'd get at least this far, and a lot of you didn't. Okay, positives are always greater than negatives. So I gave you partial credit just for the first 2, and then it got really, really difficult. It got challenging at that point. You really had to know your stuff. I have a 4-way tie between 4 negatives at -4. I'll use a different color because it does help. This here does not help me because they're all -4. So I'm going to look at the second one. Now we have differentiation here. Now we have 2, 2, 0, 2. And here's where it gets tricky, because you're now on the negative side or left side of the number line. So you're looking for the greater or greatest out of the 4 remaining. In essence, which of these digits, -2 or 0, which is closer to 0? Is 0 is closer to 0. -2 is further away. So now I know my only 0 is this one. That's going to become number 3 on my list. And that was exactly as written. So my next is -4.025. Cross it out because I don't want to look at it anymore. It's out of the race. Switch colors. I got a 3-way tie for the tenths place. So now I've got to look at the hundredths. 0, 5, 0. Which is closer to 0? -5 or 0? Dan.
0.
Which is this one and this one. I'm going to cheat. Since I have 3 numbers left, I automatically know which one now becomes my least. I know it can't be this. What's the only one left? Brandon. This becomes my least. I'm going to put it at the bottom of my list because I know there's nothing lower than -4.25, which was this fraction. I'm going to put it at the bottom. And it's done. So is this one. Take care of it up here too. Is that all my crosses up there? I'm down to 2 numbers. Got to go to my last placeholder. This is out. What's closer to 0? -2 or 0? Everything now falls into place. Okay.
0.
And that was originally my -4.2. And then, of course, the only one left is -4.202. And like I said, if you got it all right, I gave you full credit. But if you got these wrong and at least showed work, I gave you 5 points and took off 3. So again, isn't your ultimate goal is to get it right, right? You want to get the answer right. You don't want to throw away 8 points, right? So if it takes a little bit more time to do it this way, you had the time. Do it the way that I show it to you, because I'm going to show you a very similar question on the next test, which is in about a week and a half, and I want you to do it this way. Clear? Good?
Got it.
Get marker boards. I got something fun.